Listen, I have got to tell you about this. You're going to like this. I know you're going to love, because I love it. These fabrics are called Frozen Frost. The most beautiful winter Christmas jelly roll fabrics you've ever seen. I know you're intrigued. Picture this. Let me give you the concept of this quilt. Beautiful winter's morning. All you want to do is get up and be excited to jump into this Christmas quilt where you wrapped yourself with it and drinking your beautiful cup of morning coffee, or on a beautiful winter's night by the fireplace, just wrapped up with hot cocoa and marshmallows in your beautiful Christmas winter frozen frost quilt. Tell me that doesn't sound beautiful. Let me show you how I turn this into this. Let's get started. These are very gorgeous fabrics by Robert Kaufman here. They are really beautiful. At this particular stage, I am just separating them and showing them to you. But we are going to separate lights and darks. They are very frosted and they look very, very Christmassy, very ice Christmas quality from these fabrics. So I'm separating lights and darks, and I would urge you to do that. It's relatively important for the layout of the quilt. I'm also separating mediums as well, as some of them are very dark and some of them are also mediums. Look at this one, so beautiful. It's a well thought out fabric selection for this Christmas ice quilt. Very, very beautiful. So all we're going to do is to put them into their categories. That's really important, as I said. And so what I want to achieve here is that variation of texture throughout, and not just to use darks only. So I'm going to continue with that. Again, lights, mediums, and darks. It doesn't really matter how many groups you get of whether it's balanced or not. That's irrelevant here, because we are not going to use all of it, and we can save some of it for another project, which would look very cohesive if you make a table runner, etc., which I think I'll probably do and update you guys with it as well. So let's continue to separate lights, mediums, and darks, and then put them into the various selection, and we'll move on to the cuts. All right, so the strips have now been cut and they all look pretty awesome. Okay, you can also cut them at a whole group, or you can use them as you go, and I'll explain that later. All right, so what I've decided also was to add some of the strips to the block layout themselves. You can see here where I've cut them down, and they are working from literally the whole jelly roll as well. I've used those. I've also decided to add some accent fabric, and I've also included these Merry Christmas prints here, contrasting with these frosted gold. I think goes really well for the theme idea of the quilt. So I've used, as I said, some of the jelly roll strips to cut into smaller strips to make the quilt a little bit more cohesive with texture and variety and visual appeal. As well as you also need your background white for your strips also. The Merry Christmas looks really good for the accent color that I've added in. I've also critiqued it on added a vibrant red and warmth to the quilt that I think adds a really visual appeal also. Again, using that jelly roller strips for continued texture. As well as looking at the frosted, this looks really lovely. So you've got some ideas and varieties of thought to play with. So I'm getting ready to
and
start
how you want
sewing.
to lay yours
So
out.
I just want to give you some options. So if you decide to make this quilt, this is one thing you can do. You can cut all of your background strips, or remember, you can use your jelly roll strips as well, okay, that you would have trimmed down by now. And you can either sew it on to the size and then cut, or you can cut all of your strips that needed. I did cut all of my strips initially when I started, but I felt doing it this way, so stitch then cut, I think is a lot more effective, quicker way of actually doing this. But the option is yours. Nevertheless, you end up with the same results, but I just wanted to give you some options. So I'm about to get started on my block here, and all you need to do basically is to cut or stitch, then cut along there, and then you would add on your next pieces of fabric here. Now just bear in mind that once you, I'm just giving you an example here, this is what you would need to do. So that's the first start of the layout in reference to how you sew it together. You will then cut here and use your wide strip again to sew on another piece, and of course the pattern will give you all the further details of how you need to sew it together to get the modern cottage block. All right, so let's continue with that and I'll show you the end results. As I was making the blocks, I realized that I missed one of my white strips. So if you notice, I showed you the first one there. There it is. I didn't add on a strip. So you need to make sure you add your white strip on to your long edge as well. So I have to go back now and get more fabric. So just make sure that you pay close attention to those things. But you can see me adding here in a strip of the jelly roll just to add a bit more contrast and variety, as I said. So you can do that if you choose to mix up some of your fabrics with the jelly roll frosted with your strips. All right, so I'm almost done with my block layout now. I have a few more blocks to make, and so I'm just working out in my head which jelly rolls I want to use next. So I'm just putting them in the spot that I think is going to work really well. Basically, just playing around before I make the block. So obviously, I can choose the shrimps, can't I? So in reference to, so I thought I had too many of those frosted gold blue and the accent red as well. So I think I had a little bit too much. So I was trying to make sure that it was balanced. So I think I used 5 and 5 or 5 and 8 or something like that. All of the accent fabrics that I chose to use together. So I felt this gray tone here, this medium gray tone or light gray, it just didn't work. So one like that, I will definitely leave out of the bundle. I just felt it didn't go together at all. It's sort of an odd mix in reference to the blues, the different shades of blues. You know, it wasn't, but had it been a brown, I would have been happy. But I think for that texture, I didn't like it. So I put that back literally. And yes, I was just choosing others that I think that will complement the whole tone of the quilt from the general selection. So if you decide to make this quilt, I would definitely say play with that concept so that you are happy with the outcome. All right, so let's have a little chat for a little minute before we continue with the quilt. Now, you may have noticed that I haven't been posting as much as I usually do. And I just wanted to let you guys know what's been going on. So long before I actually went on holiday, I had some tooth problems and my teeth started feeling very sensitive. And so I thought, while we were on holiday, it started getting a little bit worse. So I thought when I get back home, I'll go to the dentist. So obviously, just had my appointment a couple of days ago, and I needed some filling, and so I couldn't really speak. My face looked like I had a stroke, you know, because I had to get so many injections. From the first one, he was like, if you feel any pain, let me know, you know. And he started like, no, you need to fix that. So second time he went again, I was like, no, that is hurting. So the third, he gave me a lot more injection. He gave me so much I can actually taste it. So the side of my face just would not, and you know how it is when you get a filling. So that was that. But the really sort of main problem why I really haven't been posting as much in terms of quilting is because of my shoulder and my arm, my right arm. Now, I do feel like I have a repetitive injury, and I feel that has originated from the actual quilting itself. I don't mean the piecing, even though I do feel slight effects when I'm piecing. But this problem has been sort of building for a long time, and I thought it was to do with menopause in terms of muscle aches and stuff like that. But I did realize that once I was on holiday, it subsided quite a lot. But as soon as I got back home and I started quilting again, that pain came back. And what it feels like is that my arm feels very tired yet achy. Sometimes I can't lift my hand over my head. You know, if I have to lift something, I have to support my arm with my other hand. And so it's quite painful and uncomfortable also, because I can't be myself. So that's the reason why I haven't really posted the quilts and, you know, as regularly as I would. So I'm sure you guys noticed that there's a heavy decline in me being online with you. I mean, my last one was the 5 cuts, and it took me a while even to do that one. And this one I'm working on here, I am going to quilt it today, but I'm just a little bit concerned about how my arm is going to feel. I do have a physio appointment tomorrow, Wednesday, Australia time, because I know it's Monday there by you guys. So yeah, so you know, that's where I have been at the moment in terms of why you haven't seen me posted. And you're thinking, well, what have you been doing In the meantime, I've been sort of tidying up the house, refreshing the house for spring. We're coming into our summer. I'll, do a little bit of pottery and terms of decorating, changing pots, plants, and just doing a little bit of house things to keep me busy. And even in doing some, sort of like little artistry, painting on the pots and stuff like that, has I can feel just by lifting my arm, it's still very painful. And so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and praying that when I go to the physio tomorrow, that I think it's my appointment, that it's a lot more better and I can work with it. I mean, even sleeping is an issue, and I'm usually groaning in the middle of the night, because it's just so painful. And what is happening, because I'm not using this arm as much, I'm overcompensating on this arm, and so this one is starting to play up. So that's one of the reasons. Well, those are the reasons, that muscular, tired, achy feeling that I'm getting, mainly from my right arm, a little bit on the left, as I said, because I'm overcompensating. So hopefully the physio solves it. So my husband said, you need to go and tell your subscribers, because they will be wondering why you haven't been posted and why you've been so scarce. So that is the ultimate truth. So, but today I'm going to carry on. I will show you a little bit of shots of what I've done with my vases around the house, just to keep me busy. I thought it was really pretty, and I am quite proud of myself, actually. But I'm going to attempt to quilt this today. The quilt that I'm currently working on, and so hopefully I'm able to get this to you by tomorrow, Wednesday, my time, and you'll have it, and you can let me know what you think about it, because I went through a lot of pain just to show you this. All right, so let's get back to the video. Here are the results of the items that's been keeping me busy. So here's a ceramic vase that I've messed around with and added some texture to it, and I thought this looked really beautiful. I've also played around with this one. The following are vases that are glasses, and I'm actually texturized them as well. So this is what it looks like once I added all my texturizing to it. The next one is glass as well, and I wanted sort of a ceramic look with this one that looked aged and old and dark. So this one here was literally just a glass vase, and I've painted it with some green texture on it as well. This one also mixed with a little bit of white and made it look a little bit more ceramic as well. It looked really beautiful. And this was some painting that I actually did. I really love this one. It was quite moody, Carl said to me, so that's what I'm going with. But it's really beautiful. I really enjoyed making this. The other one, this one here, I sort of thought of the weather and how it can actually make you feel a little bit moody sometimes and change your mood swing. So I really enjoyed doing this one. It sort of reflected my mood at the time. And the also final picture, for me, it kind of took me back to when I was a little girl and running around in the fields, etc. And I really enjoyed this one. This one was a fun one for me. So it was really nice just to simply, paint the flowers, put a little house in the field there, and give the clouds movement. But I thoroughly enjoyed making these, and I hope you enjoyed my little fun time of doing some, artwork on my own. Well, this has looked really lovely. I must admit, I am certainly impressed with this. I can tell you why you would love this pattern. It's certainly beginner friendly. It's modern and festive and brings about really elegance to your space with the touch of that red and just fiery nature in it. The frosted fabrics are just beautiful, and they all work. They really, really do. I love that I added the accent colors as well, and not just the blue, but also that gold. And here it is on my sofa, and I've paired it with a beautiful blue and white throw and the colors just complement each other really lovely. Talk about upscaling a space. Perfect for in a reading nook or just wrapping around with a coffee or a hot cocoa and just really feeling lovely and cozy in this quilt. It's really modern and festive, as I said, and I think it gives instant gratification. The idea of making this is so simplistic. I've added it here with the thrill here at the back with the quilt. It is just so gorgeous. I really loved these fabrics, and I think when I saw them, I was like, this is the perfect ending to this quilt. It just blue and magical and really, really wants to allow you to stare at it. You can see my quilting here. It's large and I thought it was perfect because the blocks suited it and I think the scale was correct. And I just love these fabrics. Look at them. I think they belong in just being in a frame. It's just outstanding and the colors complement each other so well. It certainly will give you that instant gratification of, oh, just it really works. I've actually paired it with an Indian batik blue, and I thought this was just the absolute correct fabric to end the binding with, and I really, really loved it. So this quilt is just beautiful. It measures 51 inches squared, and it was a joy to absolutely make. I really was happy that I went ahead and quilted it because I think if I didn't, the quilting would not have brought it alive. The accent red there, perfect. I think just perfect, and use as a throw on your bed or, on the sofa is going to bring it alive. I think also be perfect for a wall hanging, and here I have hung it for you so that you can see what it looks like. Again, a really talking interest point for your house, again, to, liven up the area and, just make it more cohesive at winter time. Well, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe for more, and I cannot wait to hear your feedback about this beautiful retro log cabin that I've come about with here. And let me know. I just love the interest in it. It's really beautiful. Bye for now. Happy quilting, and thanks for watching and staying with me till the end. Bye for now, and really love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support that you've always given me. Happy quilting, everybody. Enjoy the quilt.